Kids, it's been a long time since I've been on video. I wanted to explain part of the reason. First of all, Windows 10 screwed up my computer, so it's not easy to name my videos anymore. So now I'm having to do it on my phone, which I've had to learn how to do. And frankly, I don't use my phone for much other than talking and the occasional texting and the occasional Facebook Messenger. Um, Usually that only when I'm traveling. Um, so this whole phone thing is new. But I wanted to get this finally finished, and this is my Paranormal Life Volume 8. This will be the last in the series, and I wanted to wrap up the whole series for you. As I talked about starting at the age of 9 and moving forward, I shared not only things that I've experienced, but I shared life experiences. And I wanted to wrap up my series by saying this. I just recently got back from a trip to South America, to Peru specifically, and I had been asked to do several readings and spoke with several spirits, and also went to a place, to an apartment complex that I had never been. Um, that I did a walk. Essentially, I did a walk. And it seemed to resonate with the people that lived in these different apartments. So um, that's that's basically my third continent, my fifth language, and I've also done walks and readings on several islands from the Caribbean all the way to the Western Pacific. So yeah, paranormal is a global experience. The other thing is, it's not just one thing, and it's not just things that you believe in. It's things that the other people believe in. They can manifest all those things. Now, I want to caution you when you're going out looking for somebody to give you a reading or come ghost hunt your house or anything like that. Be very careful who you choose. Ask a lot of questions. And if they seem to be stuck in one place, in other words, if they only want to talk about demons, or they only want to talk about vortexes, or they only want to talk about this, or they only want to talk about that, chances are you're not getting a very good, well rounded, full reading or hunt or whatever it is that you're looking for. The other thing is, if you are somebody with abilities, don't allow yourself to get stuck and realize that you don't always have the answers. And that goes for people also looking. Sometimes we don't always have the answers right away. They'll eventually come to us, but sometimes we just get stuck. For example, I had a phone call the other day where I heard something that sounded just like Hollywood on the phone. It literally was an interference between me and another person, and it sounded what Hollywood would describe as demonic. But I did not catch it as demonic because I don't do demonic. Um, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and it took me a while. It actually took me several hours to process what was going on. And it's okay if you don't have the answer right away. So, for those of you that do have abilities, trust yourself and don't push yourself. Let it come, because the harder you work, the less successful you're going to be. This needs to flow naturally. It doesn't need to be forced. It can't be forced. There's no way. Lastly, and most importantly, for those people particularly going through some kind of either early life or late life, mid late life crisis, or retirement boredom, um, save your money. If you don't have abilities, don't go out and read books and go to all these different places and spend a fortune talking to swamis and all this kind of stuff. Because chances are, at least in my experience working at psychic fairs and etc., is that people will go out and pour thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, and hundreds of or or thousands of hours into studying something, never quite get there, drop it, and start the next thing. Now, that might be life enriching to some extent, but to some extent, it's a big waste. So, if you're not serious about something, don't start it. Just don't. And the idea that you tried and you tried and you kept trying and you kept trying, but you never got anything done, why bother to try? Either get it done or don't get it done. But save your money. You can do something, you can get a vacation done, you can get something done, you can get your house remodeled. So if you're going to spend several $1,000s trying to pretend that you're going to be a psychic and you know you're not, and you never can be, and your mind just can't quiet down enough and you can't even meditate, then don't. I mean, I've had people for years come to me and say, "How do you meditate?" You just do. You can't read books and teach yourself how to meditate. You just learn how to quiet down. That's all the information you know. Shut up. And when your mind starts talking, tell it to shut up again. You don't need $10,000 retreat in Sedona to learn how to shut up. You just don't. Simple. So don't be duped. The paranormal is real. All of this stuff is real. People generate it out of thin air. And it absolutely is real. And it absolutely can touch you. It can move things. It can make noises. It can slam doors. It can explode dishes. It can scratch you. It can pinch you. It can do all kinds of things. And it's as dangerous or as not dangerous as you want to make it. But I've never seen a ghost kill. Ever once. Never. I've seen them unnerve people, but I've never seen them kill. And if they did start killing, trust me, we'd be hearing all about it, not only in the National Enquirer, but we'd be hearing all about it on television, etc., etc. And the last thing, these television shows. Yes, they're entertaining, and yes, they can be informative to a point. But some of them, if you really sit and listen and look, they have a particular point of view. And each one has a little different point of view. And it's all right to have a point of view because it makes for good television, but it doesn't necessarily make for good paranormal investigating, and it doesn't necessarily make for a well-balanced human being. So if your favorite investigator is just a demon hunter, chances are that there might be something wrong with them mentally, because the world just isn't full of all these demons. I'm sorry. If it were, it would be a whole different world than what we live in, because these demons supposedly are so strong and so aggressive and inhuman and mean spirited, just like God. Some people that quote fear God believe that God's just that mean and nasty if you don't do exactly what he says when he says blah, 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 blah. So think about it. If they're putting God and demons into the same box and saying if you don't behave this way or behave that way, either God's going to smite you or the demon's going to smite you, chances are you might want to look somewhere else, because people just aren't getting smited like that. And they haven't been for as long as I've been alive, and probably a long time before that. Otherwise, we'd hear a lot more about it, and we would have read about it in history. Just a thought. So, enjoy your paranormal TV shows. Go out, go to one of these professional investigations, go to a haunted hotel, go to one of these locations, enjoy yourself. Buy a little equipment if you're really into it, or just download an app on your smartphone and for free or for $1.50 or $2 and get started that way. And if it works for you and it's entertaining and it's fun, then great. If it doesn't, give it up and move on to something else. But don't spend tens of thousands of dollars and years and then finally realize that you're just not cut out for it. That's really a sad waste of time. So that's all I have for the paranormal. I wish everyone a wonderful, safe life. And if you ever have any questions, just type them in and I'll be happy to answer them if I can. I don't want to discourage anybody, but I also don't want to give people false hope. And I don't want people scamming other people out of money. There's nothing that pisses me off more than people that scam other people with stuff like spirituality and the paranormal and things like that. It's just not necessary. Anyhow, talk to you later.